Hello everybody, welcome to today's presentation for the Forum Awards in Transformation and Innovation for 2025. Today we're going to talk you through a transformation within ManyPets that took place over the last year or so and how we've managed to work with Peopleware in order to deliver transformation and grow together.
So, hi, I am Lisa Beeching, Head of Business Support at ManyPets. Been in the role just over a year and started here setting up the function which encompassed what we're talking about today, the forecasting, planning and resourcing elements of the contact centre.
I am Kieran Holcroft, Head of Operations at ManyPets. I have been here for around a year as well, and I'm responsible for our contact centre and the customer support element of that, our claims assessment, back office, our small technical claims area, and the fraud and liabilities and recoveries piece, reporting directly to the CEO.
And I'm Steve Wrench. I work as the Planning, Forecasting and MI Manager. I also joined the company about a year ago, and I'm responsible for our forecasting of content volumes, all of our planning and scheduling, our management information and analytics and reporting in all of our dashboards, and I report to Lisa.
So just to give you a little bit of a background on ManyPets. ManyPets is one of the leading pet insurance in the UK. We launched in 2017, so we've been going for just over 8 years now. And over that time, we've managed to get 375,000 policyholders, so growing in scale all of the time. We are a tech-first insurance company. We are very, very much driven by AI performance metrics and how we deliver customer journeys as seamlessly as possible and with as little human interaction. Over the last year or so, as with any business that grows, we've gone on quite a transformation journey in order to make sure that our business is fit to succeed in the next part of our growth plans. That involved a big transformation in the contact centre and a massive focus, which we will talk to you today on how we scaled the business and how we scaled our operation using some of the workforce planning tools to make sure that we were getting the best out of what we can from our frontline staff, the efficiencies and the right customer expectations.
Okay, let's talk about the transformation. There are really three key areas that we looked at. One was really actually understanding the challenges, and all three of us joined the company a year ago. So we set about looking at what is causing impacts, what is causing things like customer and even staff dissatisfaction. Ultimately, that could lead to reputational risk. There's a discovery and research section within the plan where we had to evaluate and understand, then build a plan and prioritize everything. From an execution and delivery perspective, it was really all about focusing on our operations and business support functions, an awful lot of coordination and collaboration in order to try and ensure that all the various tasks were covered, and then tracking where we were, looking at our plan, making sure that we fully communicated the current situation, what's happening next, what's about to happen, etc. And in order to try and see where we were against our plan, everything had to be measured and reported in order to make sure we were still on track. Our part in this major transformation program was really all about workforce management, working in conjunction with Peopleware. We introduced an awful lot of technology improvements and continued that collaboration throughout 2025. How we started, though, we had a rather unstructured situation in place. We had most of the right parts. By the time we got through to quarter one of the calendar year, 2025, we got the right team in place and delivered some quick wins. From March onwards, we were where we needed to be. It was then all about delivery, all about making sure our forecasts were right, our reporting was accurate, our analytics provided meaningful information to the business, and also actually taking less time to produce an awful lot of data. An awful lot of automation and innovation went in place in order to try and deliver that reporting, that analysis, and that effective and accurate information across our business. In understanding the challenges, we went back to 2024 to look at what the situation was. Basically, the company, from an operational perspective and customer support perspective, was firefighting. There's an awful lot of information around abandoned calls, there's information around customer dissatisfaction, but it was really the planning and forecasting area, making sure we had the right number of people in place at the right time, that was largely driving a lot of repeat calls into our business and delivering just dissatisfaction amongst our customers and even our employee base. We had to understand the impacts. We had to figure out what the quality of our data looked like. What was the situation on the high abandoned calls? Is it repeat calls? Does it mean we've not got enough people? Does it mean we've got too many people? It was all delivering poor customer experience and employee experience too. So then we set about building the solution and crafting the solution. It's all about using data, using the right tools, partnered heavily with Peopleware to look at this, and an awful lot of cross-functional collaboration took place. We wanted to make sure that we fully understood the Peopleware system, and we created, and working with Peopleware, 20 hours of training material to make best use of the Peopleware platform. Everybody was involved in that process, and we wanted to address the real world needs and make sure that we could foster employee engagement at the same time. And the big one for us is stopping the use of old technology. A lot of people use Excel still these days, but it's not the greatest tool to use in forecasting. And we wanted to use something far more efficient, far more accurate, far more automated. The evolution around resource planning is really on 4 key focus areas. The forecasting methodology that we used, stop using Excel, use Peopleware more, test how accurate it was, and it produced far more accuracy than our previous approach. How we planned around attrition, every contact center has attrition, how we backfill and the timing of that, timing it correctly, and making sure that we can identify all the training needs that would be in place, both for new hires and for existing staff, and scheduling all of that training in. So we were fully aware of all of the relevant requirements on resource during the year. And finally, for our people, they historically had a 1-month working schedule in the contact center. Often that was produced late, only a few days before the start of the next cycle. They now see an 8-week rolling cycle of the operational hours, that days they're going to be working, weekends, late shifts and things like that, so that they can properly plan around their personal lives. The overall objective here was to make sure that we could provide great customer experience, that we'd hit every service level, the abandoned calls would be incredibly low, and it basically just improve our overall quality and our overall performance. So broadly, in summary, around the plan, this major transformation took place. A new senior team was hired. We reviewed all the processes. We looked at workforce management in terms of what we use and how we use it. Our management information was key in terms of meaningful dashboards, meaningful reports, and meaningful analytics. And analytics, it had to be value add. We had to make sure it wasn't just tell us something we already know, it was telling us something we didn't know and something that we needed to act on. And also forecasting in the long term, not just looking at the next month or two, looking at the next year, looking at the next financial year. All of this supported by the Peopleware system, of course. So from a forecasting, scheduling, real-time management, visibility, and transformation perspective, all of the tasks and plan items that we set about, we were making sure that we could forecast correctly. We didn't just look at hourly intervals or daily intervals, we broke it down to 15 minutes and 30 minutes. From a scheduling perspective, I've already mentioned the working patterns and the 8 weeks shift rota that people were on. For real-time management, team leaders were focused on making sure that they could really manage in real time. That visibility of the 8-week schedule was very positively received, and it's a consistent approach that we've taken for over the last year. And this transformation wasn't just to upgrade some processes and upgrade some technology. It was a real shift in mindset, not just reactive, but proactive. A more centralized, single person function was ring fenced to a wider everybody function who could get involved.
So where are we now? Well, the improvement in performance has been nothing short of miraculous if we compare early and mid 2024 to where we've consistently been throughout 2025 post transformation. And Peopleware has been an absolute catalyst, a key catalyst for making that happen. We have seen our call volumes almost halve if we compare really 2024 to 2025, and a lot of that has been reduction in repeat calls because the abandonment rate has improved so much to around 2% on average throughout 2025, which is a fraction of what it was in 2024. So we're not seeing that repeat demand of customers dialing, putting the phone down because the wait time is too long, and then calling back up. And that's been driven by an improvement in average speed of answer to around 27 seconds, which again is a fraction of what it was in 2024. And also a 35% reduction in the average handling time, so that our customers now know that when they need to contact us, first and foremost, we're there for them and that they'll be able to get through to us quickly, and that also will handle their query and resolve it in an efficient fashion. That all has been enabled by the improvement in the forecast accuracy, which is improved by about 15%, and the improved scheduling of the staff. And probably the biggest test of that for us was in January and February. We see a industry peak in renewals and sales within the pet insurance industry, and during that time, sales and renewal calls can double. And historically, that has always presented a huge challenge for the organisation. And when we came into January, even February 2025, it was the first time with the new way of working that we were able to test how well we could handle that increase in volume. And whilst we did see calls peak and we did see an impact, we actually only saw the average speed of answer go from 27 seconds to around 40 seconds, and abandonment only rose from around 2% to 3%. And we still answered over 80% of calls within 20 seconds, which is where we measure our grade of service. So even during that industry peak, which historically would have seen call wait times and catastrophic abandonment rates, we handled it extremely well due to the changes that had happened. From a customer employee perspective, our customers are over the moon about the improvements that we've made, and we see it in the feedback. Our NPS, our customer service NPS, has gone up over 40 points in the last 12 to 18 months, and our Trustpilot score has increased to 4.4, which is rated as excellent and one of the best in the industry. The changes have also enabled us, now that we have a much steadier and a much higher performing base, to reintroduce our vet phone line so that vets can call us when they are submitting claims on behalf of customers to talk to us about the claim or about the policy, so that we can ensure that that service is there. And it's been a key part in the improvements that we've made in engagement, which have almost quadrupled this year, as Steve and the team have been able to give much more forward view to people on what their shifts are going to be. They've improved the scheduling of lunches and breaks so that there's more of a gap between them, so that people get better rest periods throughout the day. And all of that has played a significant part in the improvement that we've seen in engagement. Our senior leadership team are almost out of plaudits actually for what we've achieved and what we continue to achieve, to the fact where when we report the figures on a weekly and a monthly basis, it's almost become the norm that we have such high standards. But I, as someone who regularly attends industry events, I hear other people in the industry talking about how 2025 has seen increasing call wait times, increasing abandonments, and in those forums I often just dare whisper the improvements that we've seen in our space, because we certainly stand out from what I hear against the rest of the industry in that sense. So it has been absolutely huge, and as I say, Peopleware has been a huge part of that and a key catalyst.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm the account executive at Peopleware, and I've been working with the ManyPets team for the last couple of years. Working with ManyPets has been genuinely inspiring. From day one, it was clear that this wasn't just about implementing a new system, it was about shaping a new way of working together. What stood out immediately was their mindset. They didn't look at technology as something that dictates how people should work, but as a tool that empowers people to do their best work. And because of that mindset, every step of the journey felt collaborative, purposeful and forward-thinking. Watching their team evolve from reactive planning to proactive, insight-driven decision-making has been remarkable. It's been a transformation built on openness, trust and a shared commitment to doing things better. At Peopleware, we're incredibly proud to have partnered with ManyPets, not just to deliver a solution, but to support a shift that truly represents what innovation and partnership can achieve.
It's been a clear people first vision from the start. We've looked at technology and how we can use it more smartly. We've got greater visibility of people's schedules and a genuine partnership working with Peopleware, two organisations working together to try and deliver to a common goal. Thank you very much.